Hey everyone, welcome to our Facebook Live for today. Now, one of the big things that I really wanted to share with you guys today is a huge thing that I see happening all the time. And it really is, in my opinion, the number one reason that most people don't get what it is that they really want. And there are so many people that I speak to, and most people are really motivated. They're really inspired. They know what it is that they really want to be doing, but they get lost in a whole lot of the detail. Now, what I tend to find is this, the reason that most people don't get what they want is that they are unwilling to implement, get out of their own way, and really do what it is that needs to be done. Now, if you don't have your marketing up and running, and if you don't have these different things in place, what happens is that most people get stuck, they get overwhelmed, they've got these grand ideas, they really truly are gifted, and they want to make these really big dents in the world. They want to really get themselves out there, they really want and have great skill sets for getting out there, but so many people are unwilling to lay the foundational work in order to get to where they want to be. Now, incidentally, I can't remember who quoted the statistic, but that the stats show that 95% of businesses go under in the first 2 years. And a huge reason for that is that people are unwilling to become marketers of themselves. They get a bit scared. They're not quite sure how to articulate their stuff. Now, if this sounds familiar, let me know. And if you've got a different opinion on why you think most people don't, get to where they want to be, share it. Type it in. I had a really weird Dodgy Brothers internet connection last week, so I'm just going to check it over on here. I really hope that you guys can hear me. Let me know when you come on with either a laugh heart or a thumbs up or whatever. Let me know that you've got me. Otherwise, I'm going to sit here thinking that I'm just talking to nobody, and that, let's face it, that's a little boring. So I think, from all the people that I've spoken to, and I've been doing this for a long time, right? Okay, there we go. I've checked my other computer. We're working. That's good. Been doing this for a real long time, and I speak to people every single day, and it doesn't matter whether these people are in brand new startup mode, whether they're wanting to add 100 or 200 or like $500,000 to their business, or if they're already doing multi-millions. There are things that get in the way of people getting to the next level. And I think a really big part around that is number one, implementation. But then also how to, and again, let me know if this sounds like you. You've got all of these things going on all over here. You've done a lot of research, you've taken a look at all the things that are going on, and you've got all of these pieces of the puzzle kind of floating around up here. And then what needs to happen is we've kind of got to pull it all together and then bring it down and make it applicable to you in your business. And most people don't have that. Most people don't know how to simplify what it is that they've got going on in order to then get out and take the action. And I think, the reason that people don't get what they want is there's multi-prongs. I think the number one thing is lack of implementation and consistency. Actually, I know that's what it was for me. I didn't know how to pull all of this stuff aside and then pull it in and make it work. I wasn't implementing everything that I thought that I should have to implement. I was not... I was doing a lot of stuff, but not all of it was the stuff that was really profitable. And if you think about it, every single business exists purely off the amount of leads or inquiries or people walking in the door, right? That's the bread and butter of every single business on the planet. If you don't have a client, then you're not going to make money. It's as simple as that. And so therefore, in order for you to be able to get clients or get customers or doing whatever the hell it is that you're doing, you've got to be able to have the leads in order, hey Peter, you've got to have the leads in order to be able to do that. It's a bit like, so it's Easter next weekend, and and we're going camping. I love camping, and we want to have a fire, right? In order to have a fire, we've got to have the fuel for the fire before, like, which is the wood, before we even light that sucker up, right? So, you know, and before that can even happen, we've got to make sure that we have the wood ready to place, and then we've got to have the lighter, right, to be able to make it get lit, and then we can get warm. Now, in order for your business to work, you could have the best set of firewood, right? You could have the best product, the best service, but without the leads, then you're never going to get it. And unless you've got a way of being able to do that, which is the method, and then you've got the fuel, which is the leads, then nothing is really going to work. So the thing that has to happen before that, obviously, is you've got to have all of the pieces plugged in for you, and that's where the implementation comes, right? So it's not just your ability to be able to deliver. I mean, yes, that is critical, and yes, you always, without ever compromising this, you have got to be able to deliver on what you've sold with boundaries, with certainty, knowing with full integrity that you can deliver on what it is that you've sold. Otherwise, you have absolutely no business taking anybody's money, regardless if you're selling an essential oil, whether you're selling coffee, whether you're selling coaching, training, like whatever. You've got to be able to deliver. But the thing, in order for you to be able to get to that point, you've got to have the fuel coming through, which is really around the lead generation and marketing. Now, you know, a lot of people will say, well, look, you know what, the number one reason that most people don't get what they want is because of the competition. Now, yes, competition is an important conversation, although, in my opinion, there shouldn't be any competition for you, right? Because you are how you show up, you do what it is that you need to do, and really the competition should be irrelevant because you are who you are, your business does what it does, and therefore you are unique in that sphere, if you like, you know, in that silo. So the competition should be completely irrelevant. You just show up, you be who you are, you put your best foot forward in every single way humanly possible. Now, I was actually asked, I was talking to a new client of mine on Friday, and she said, oh, look, Nicola, I've got this question for you, and it might be a silly one, but I want to ask it anyway. And I'm like, go for it. Like, questions are the best. Like, I love answering questions. And she said, you know, there's this whole thing, like, do I really have to put my best foot forward every time? You know, do I always need to be looking fabulous and polished and made up and my hair done and, you know, all this? And I said, you know what? Yes, you do need to put your best foot forward, whether you're at the gym, whether you're on the school run, whether you're on a Facebook Live, whether you're on the phone, whether you're in a conference, whether you're at a networking event, whether you're presenting. You always must be putting your best foot forward. Now, your version of the best foot forward in each of those environments is going to be different, right? So your best foot forward at the gym might be you looking like you're sweating your guts out. You're doing what it is that you need to do. You're trying really hard, and you might look like some people are like, oh my God, I go to the gym and I come out of the gym and I look like I'm a mess. Well, you know what? Have you been putting your best foot forward in that environment? Yes. Then if you're going to the supermarket, you know, your best foot forward in the supermarket, my best foot forward in the supermarket is walking along and being nice to the checkout people or being nice to the service deli people, or, you know, smiling as I recognize people, right? It doesn't mean that I'm going to go and be fully dressed up and hair done and face done and all this just to go and pick up a carton of milk. You know, that's a bit crazy, and it's high maintenance, right? You don't want to be, unless that's your brand, you know, you don't necessarily want to be that high maintenance. But yes, you do need to be putting your best foot forward in all areas of however it is that you show up, and that version of the best foot forward will be different along the whole way, like along every application. But really, so many people get caught up in the latest strategy or the latest tactic, and I really believe that the number one thing that you need to focus on doing to start with is making sure that you are implementing whatever it is that you are learning. Otherwise, everything else is going, like, it's irrelevant. You may as well not even bother, because the fire is not going to burn. There's going to be no wood. There's going to be nobody to talk to, and that just makes absolutely no sense. Concurrently, you also need to be trusting the process, right? So if you're learning from somebody, if you're enrolled in a course or a program or a mentoring or like a mastermind or whatever it is, then you've got to make sure that number one, you're implementing, and number two, you're trusting the process. Because these things around building an online presence, these things around building the system in order for you to get to where it is that you want to be, guys, like, they don't just happen within a click of a finger, right? It can take 2 or 3 months in order for you to really build momentum, for you to get these systems under your belt, to get the testing and measuring right, in order for you to start to see some kind of like return on investment or momentum. If you think about it, if you were to open up a bricks and mortar business, now the people that I work with are coaches, mentors, trainers, or service-based, professionals, like allied health professionals and stuff like that. Now, if you were thinking about opening up a bricks and mortar store, you would need to have the shop fit organized. You'd probably need to sign a rental guarantee with whatever shopping center or leasing agent or whoever it is you're going through. You would need to buy stock. You would need to buy plant and equipment. You would need to organize staff. You would need to have all of these different things in place before you even open the freaking door, right? So you've got to implement those before you can even get the customers in. The biggest thing that most people, coaches, trainers, mentors, like professionals, those people, you forget that in order for you to open the door, you've got to have a way of being able to bring people in through the door. And that's the part that needs to happen really before anything else. Are you required to invest? Yes. Do you need a laptop and a Wi-Fi connection? Yes. Are there other things that you need outside of a laptop and a Wi-Fi connection? Hell yes. Now, if you're looking at, like, primarily for the startup people, if you're looking at setting up a business like this, you probably want to have a good 10 grand in your pocket, ready to invest in someone who is going to train you in the right way, so that you also have some money for traffic, which is, the getting people in through the door. You've got to have some money to be able to invest in the systems so that you can bring those people in through the door and then sell them something if it's appropriate, right? So without all of that in place, then just absolutely nothing is going to work. So really, if you think about it, the number one reason that most people don't get what they want is because they don't realize that there are so many more things. Oh, great. I'm glad you guys can hear me. There are so many more things that you need to get in place before you even open the door. If you're looking at scaling, if you want to move from just getting referrals, word of mouth business, going to networking events, things like that, then you've got to have other things in place before you kind of turn the tap off on that other thing. So that's my little ranty opinion for a cold but sunny Monday morning. Now, this was a really, you're very welcome, Teresa. My pleasure. It's, oh wow, shamanic retreats, excellent. It's really critical that you guys go in with eyes wide open. And I think it's a really, there's been a huge disservice done to the industry where people are like, all you need is a laptop and a Wi-Fi connection and you'll be able to go make, 100, 200, 300 grand or $1 million a year. Can you do it? Of course you can. But you've got to have those things in place before you even, flick the switch or open the door. Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for failure. And I think that's really shit, to be perfectly honest. So Yeah, that's that. Now, if you want to hear more about this, I'm doing a live webinar tomorrow, this time tomorrow, actually, in about 15 minutes. I'll post the link below so that you can go ahead and register for that. I go into the big key things with how you can use social media to triple your business over the course of this year, which is really making sure that you have these foundational pieces in place while you're opening the door, so that you do have the fuel and you're able to turn on that fire and turn it into a roaring blaze, rather than letting it sit there and you kind of got this little tiny little candle that you're trying to keep warm with and feed yourself with, right? It just doesn't make any sense. So I'll put the link below for that. I look forward to sharing that with you tomorrow. Meanwhile, have a really kick ass and awesome week. Go shoot some massive goals. Get implementing, right? The best time to start marketing for, like, if you're like Teresa and you're wanting to do retreats or mentoring or coaching or training or, you know, any of those other things. If you want to get that stuff done, the best time for you to start marketing is last week, right? The competition is only going to get more fierce. There is only going to be more and more practitioners coming onto the scene any moment. All right. Have a really awesome day, guys. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow. And we'll go from there. See you, love you. Bye.